Okay.
Welcome to the Secret Life of Therapists. I'm your host, Dr. Habiba Zaman. I have with me my co-host, Kaylin Maloney. We like to make each other laugh right before our sessions start.
Yeah.
Our sessions. So today's
Gosh.
topic, I'll just tell you what we just talked about. Actually,
Yeah.
that's even better because
Yes.
I sat down. I was like, "Oh, my hips."
Yeah.
And her response was,
About stretching, because we're always hearing about stretching and the importance of stretching
"Yes."
as you get older.
And then I said, I do every day,
Yeah.
every single day. And then she was like, so what is it? I was like, it's because I'm crusty. The hinges are
She's
crusty.
clearly not crusty. Okay. But that is very much like that was my immediate thought, which feels so crazy. It's like, oh my gosh. But it is that it's like, are we
But you're
there?
so hopeful though. You're like, oh,
Are we
is
there?
it stretching? And I'm like, no, girl, it's because I'm just crusty.
Because I don't want to believe we're there. Like we're not.
You're not.
But
I am.
but obviously I would have to start at some point to
What,
not be
stretching?
where you are, right? So like it still applies to me.
It does.
So there's still this question of just like, are we doing the things? Like, are we there at that time?
Yeah.
Have we
No,
hit that point?
I'm doing all the things, and yes, it's like, ooh, ow.
Damn, I don't know then.
You know, it's true. And then in the beginning, I used to, you see all these people and they're in their 40s and late 40s and 50s and everything. And I'm like, oh, like, I'm crusty. They're not. Right. And then you get to know them, you talk to them, and everybody struggles with the same shit.
Yeah.
Which is amazing. But then it makes you wonder, especially with social media, right? If I'm comparing myself to is it a real perception or is it an imagined perception of their life, or is it, is my perception matching reality?
Yes.
And
is it reality is such a big question.
Yes.
Because everything seems very much reality like. Because it used to be a very difference between you go to the movies and you clearly know that this is like fake and whatever, and then you come back out of the movies literally back to regular life and like you're just going through these things, and it didn't seem as gross and blah as it is now. And I think because now things are just so in our face all the time that it seems that it's now normalized some of the things that are going on. So 50-plus-year-olds are out here doing like kick flips and whatever. And it's like, oh, I should probably be doing that. What do I need to do to get to that point?
Right.
And it's like, well, is that realistic? Right? Is that because if they've been a gymnast, that might be for them.
Or, right, after all of this time, this is their passion. This is what they're focusing on. I do know some, they look fantastic. They do these like fitness model type photography and things like that, but they're personal coaches.
Yeah.
They do fitness and working out all day, every day, and that is their livelihood. That's their,
oh my God,
everything.
Speaking of, let me tell you, that's how I realized I needed a break from social media. I needed a break from social media because of course, like probably early COVID times, 21, 22, something like that. And like, I should be doing more things. And one of the things I realized was like, so I've always been very petite, very thin. And so when I was younger, I used to think like if I ate more food, then I would get like more curvy, because in our culture, the more curvy you are, the more things, right? Yeah. So I'm like, okay, like I'll gain some weight, like I'll have like boys finally like me, like there's this whole thing, right? So it didn't matter how much I ate because I just had the fastest metabolism ever. So like whatever, which is fine. I've grown to become an acceptance of like my body, my identity, all the things. But in that time, as I was still learning about accepting my body and myself in those areas, I'm like, what do I need to do to get to this particular look? And the recipes were like, you exercise for this amount of time, you do these particular exercises, you eat these particular things, you do these things at the show. I'm like, okay, yeah, like I can do that. And then when I go to put it in play, I'm like, how the fuck do y'all have time for this?
Yeah.
But you don't.
Not just time, energy.
You have a chef. That's how you make it happen.
That's how I'll know I've made it in life, is when I have somebody cooking for me.
Yes.
Personal chef. Thank 100%. You very much.
You have a nutritionist that's on standby who's able to keep up with what you're doing, make sure you do what you're supposed to do.
Yes.
You have a cleaner to come make sure your house is straight every week. You have, and obviously this is me way pre-kid, right? So, and I'm watching them. They don't have no kids neither. So I'm like, okay, what
are we doing? Or the ones that do, and they're like, we have busy lives too,
yeah.
but they also have a nanny. I actually knew someone like
live
that.
in,
and she had, and I was like very much envious of it. I was just like, I would love to have what you have one day.
Yes.
Never jealousy, because there's no need for that. But I was like, that must be nice.
But definitely, yeah, definitely that.
She even had someone that came to do laundry, a specific just laundry person.
Yeah.
That's it. Like they would come, get her laundry, change the sheets, and then the dry cleaning and the steaming, whatever.
And then I'm just like, all these things done. Your clothes are ironed. Like you don't have to do those. Because as I'm thinking, or so again at that time, I'm like, okay, so like I have to make whatever meal. So I'm willing to make the meal. But then I'm like, I'm working too, right? So I'm like, okay, I have to do this, have to do that. And I'm working through this. And then by the time I look up, it's like 7:45. And I was supposed to eat like 2 hours ago. Yeah. But I'm like working. Yeah. And I'm like, dang, how are you guys doing this? They're not working.
And then the ones who are, right,
have a ridiculous amount of support.
Right.
That's just,
and it needs to be, again, it's respected, and we can envy them for that. Like, that's nice. Nobody's going to hate on that. There's no reason to hate on that, because that's wonderful.
Yes.
But let's also not knock down the people who don't have that, and then they can't live up to that standard.
Yes, and I think that's where the comparison becomes dangerous.
Well, I told you about that guy, right? That was like, oh, you just need power naps. You just need 15-minute power naps, and you'll be good. I'm glad you remember. And I was just like, no, that doesn't work for me, because I don't have that from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. I don't have the in-betweens to be able to do the power naps. And then the response to that was, well, you just need to learn to have some more flexibility.
Yeah, time management needs to be better. It's like, okay.
I was like, literally doesn't work as a psychologist. So. Like, we don't even have 15 minutes in between sessions. We're supposed to have 10 minutes, and good luck even having that, right? To just go pee. Yeah. Okay, I just need to run and go pee, and then I'll start the next session.
And you still got to write your notes within that.
Yeah. That's, I don't even do it. Okay. Mine's at the end of the day.
Way at the end. Sometimes up to 2
I don't have those.
I don't have
the 10 minutes.
I don't.
Either we're finishing something, or I'm just like determined to teach you what you need to teach. Yes. But if we do end, I literally need to go down a flight of stairs, go pee, and then go back up another flight of stairs. Yeah. To start my next session. Yeah. So we don't have that in between them, but he just kept insisting as if his reality matches mine. Okay, so here's the other thing that is happening. What is it? It is, oh my gosh. The statement is, we all have the same 24 hours. Oh my God, that is so disrespectful. Yeah, for the like past couple of years, again, like this COVID time, right? It blew up then, for sure. We do not. We don't have it at all. Or like my family, right? They're full-time caregivers for my sister. Mm-hmm. I don't even try to say we have the same 24 hours. And my life is hectic and crazy with my 2 teenage boys in school and after school activities in my career and my 3 businesses that I decided to do to myself. I did it to myself. Yeah. We know this, but I'm creating a life that I love and doing the things that I love doing. And a lot of the times that doesn't leave a whole lot of time to do the other things I love to do. Because I don't have the physical, emotional, or mental energy. Yeah. By the time I finish the obligations, right? What needs to get done to be successful in what I'm doing. Yeah. To then go do the fun things that I need to do also. Oh my God, the fun, girl, don't even talk about that. Because did you earn that? Did you do what you're supposed to do today? Oh my gosh. And then, of course, dealing with my own internal things, right? Growing up with, you have to earn the ability to play and have a good time, right? So then you're back in that same space of, if you want to, I don't know, have more energy, then you will do these particular, like, kind of routine things. Right. But we don't have the time to do those things. Girl, the power nap is such fucking bullshit. I also hated that shit. But you know how I am. I will lay there for an hour to get my 15 minutes. I was just going to say, it takes me 15 minutes just to get comfortable in the fucking bed. I'm not going to be able to fall asleep. That you would have to be just immediately sit down and go straight to sleep. I don't have the ability to do that. But I've never. My body will not allow me to do that. Actually, my dad would tell me, like, you should like a 30-minute nap. And I'm like, you can do 30-minute naps, bro. 30-minute naps make me super angry. Yes. So they never call that the Zaman trait. Like we all have the Zaman trait.
Yeah.
When we wake up from a nap, everybody is just. I think. I think my partner saw this recently, where the babies and I, all of us, decided to take a nap, and then we woke up, and I think he came home, and then was like, I don't know what the fuck is going on in this house. And he walked in, I was like, we just all got up from a nap. Like it's like all's well with the world, right?
Yeah.
I was making my coffee. Everything seems like it's okay, but the energy and the expressions around, he was like, and then he told my family, and they were like, yeah, that comes from the Zaman line.
Yeah.
My dad is psycho when he wakes up from a nap.
No, it's only when I'm interrupted.
Like
I'm only if I'm interrupted.
Yeah.
Then I'm very much like, you better be dead. 100%. You need to be fucking. I need to be seeing blood or something, because you have absolutely no reason to disturb me right now.
I think naps are awful.
I don't mind the naps, but I don't interrupt me. I don't want a 45-minute alarm.
I have never woken up from a nap feeling refreshed. I feel like I have a hangover.
Yeah, I definitely feel more groggy.
Do you know what? Like,
but sometimes I'm just so exhausted,
which is different.
You have to do
like
it.
You just crashed. Yeah, and I did that once. I laid down, I closed my eyes, and then like I woke up like that because I saw a snake in my dream, and I was just like, really? You won't even let me just chill out. I didn't even know. Did I even fall asleep yet?
Right.
Because I looked at the clock, 2 minutes had gone by. So I'd crashed so hard, and then that's how I wake up.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
That's mean.
Oh my god.
That was nonsense. That was some straight nonsense.
I would definitely wake up pretty psychotic too, though.
And then I roll back over. I was like, you will sleep.
Yeah.
An hour and a half for another 17 minutes.
No, ma'am. Can't do it.
It's just not worth it.
No. So that's why.
It takes too much time to like recalibrate.
Yeah.
To be like this again.
And so even with that, of like, again, what is true for you? What's true for me?
Yeah.
Realistically, 15-minute naps might be good for some folks, but that just does not work for me. But I think the danger zone also, or kind of like the road to the danger zone, comes when there's so much commentary behind why it's not difficult to do, why you should be doing it,
which
why
is imposing.
This and this, right? And so then it's like, what if I'm not doing it? Then I have no reason to not do it, first of all. And if I'm not doing it, then I am lazy. Then I don't care, or I really don't care. Then I am not fulfilling these things that I want for myself. Like all these kind of things going on, but all that being
because
a part
somebody
of
else
that
is trying
road,
to define that for you.
Yes, because
they do.
Because they do.
They're literally imposing that shit onto you.
Yes.
Like even the language that was used, right? Well, you just need that. Excuse me, I just need. And obviously, I got triggered. Because don't tell me I just need as if you know me.
Right.
Right. Even in therapy, it's like, what would work? Could you? Can you? Have you tried? But right, like, but that's not just therapy talk. That's respect.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Don't come at anyone with "you just need to," as if you're the master of their existence.
Or even that one size fits all. It's not just going to be just this mapped out, just do these things and you're going to be good to go. No, it's not that.
Because it felt like this aggressive, imposing energy. And immediately it's like, take off that.
Yeah. Which I think is why comparison now is seen as such a negative. Comparisons really don't have to be negative, and they're really not inherently negative. We really can use them in the ways of kind of identifying, am I on the right track?
Or if I want this,
if I'm really okay here, things like that. But I think, again, because of just how people are communicating now, like what they're saying, it automatically brings such a negative tone where if I'm not doing the things, or if I'm doing too much of another thing or whatever, then that means that I'm fucking up somewhere. I'm not doing something right. So then it rolls all the way down into, what am I doing then?
See, I'm a big believer of live and let live. As long as, because there's always conditions, there's always caveats to everything, as long as what you're doing isn't hurting someone else.
Yeah.
Right? And, see, we said we were not going to get deep into whatever, but I am, because of the thought that I just had with that. I had an experience with someone where I was like, just let live. How does it bother you when this is being whatever? And they were like, no, exactly. I agree with that. And, that's why, this is controversial, but like pedophiles. And I was like, Brr? And they were like, who is it really harming? And I was like, are you asking me this question right now? Are you genuinely out loud asking this question? We were at an event, like it was like a networking event or something. It was like, I don't know you very well, but uh, this person's gonna remember our interaction because I'm pretty sure my face did all kinds of things. And then this person's response though was, as long as everybody's consenting, I think is the word that was used, why is it a problem? And I was like, where is the consent coming from? Why do you think that there's consent in pedophilia? Where are you getting that information from? They're like, well, like a 16-year-old. A 16-year-old has a crush on somebody older. Why is that a problem? And I was like, developmentally. And I went into, let me tell you, if all of the education, science backed up with studies did not come and smack this person around in the face of how a 16-year-old cannot be in the same mental capacity or position as somebody who might be 26. Like, let's not even, until they were like started slowly backing away. Like, I made a scene 100%. Not loud, not aggressive, but I was just like, the fact that you even consider a 16-year-old being able to make that kind of decision when it's 100% just attraction, yes. Respect, yes. Adoration, sure. Crush on you, 100%. But let's not mistake naivety and crushes of a 16-year-old with the intellect and power differential of a 26-year-old. You know?
Yeah.
And so where is the harm being done? Right there.
Yeah.
Neurologically, developmentally, you guys are on different books.
Yeah, all I could think of, I could probably say to them at that time is, you're fucking gross. It sounds like you're fucking children.
See, but if I go there,
that's what it was.
I'm gonna be hood and hatchet.
I would really have to, because you just came to me with the most disrespectful shit I've ever fucking heard in my life, and then you're bringing it to me like it's appropriate.
Oh my God.
It's not a discussion, baby. It's not even a debate. Like, what are we doing?
Said, this was an event, right? And I'd rather just like slap you with truth and science and dysfunction instead of shaming, because the other part would have just been hood.
That's why you have the doctorate and I don't. I'm not there. I'm just not there. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm just not there.
I don't know. I feel like that's
I just can't do it. Like, not to that degree.
The emotions shut off, and then it just goes right into like all, like none of it was in the emotion center. All of it was in prefrontal cortex.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. I have to give you these facts right now.
Right.
Yeah.
No. Because the alternative would have been,
I'm gonna flip this shit over. I have to, because what are we talking about? What the fuck?
But again, right? This whole thing, like the Rape Academy, right?
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's the same underlying. Well, who are we hurting? Are you serious right now?
Yeah. Yeah. It is pretty intense. I think when we are, everybody's gonna have their own way of thinking, clearly.
As if we're just supposed to accept that, though.
Yes, but again, that comes from this, everybody has an opinion space, and everybody's opinion needs to be valued. So then it's an overgeneralization of what we talk about within therapy, and then safe spaces, even that's being like completely exploited. Right. So I think,
like, I should be able to say this out loud.
Yeah, and without you having to have any response, and like, it's not the same. And so when we're using that same type of template over into what you should be doing in your life, you're going to automatically compare yourself in that space. You're going to automatically be, why am I not doing this then? If you guys are saying it's just supposed to be this simple, or it looks like this, or even when it comes to consent, because some people who are really, they will question, they might even agree. They might just start questioning, well, maybe, what in the fuck are you questioning?
Right.
But because it's so hammered, you're there.
That, we've talked about this when enough is enough, right? When we did that episode, we talked about how I told you, like, accept them from what you're seeing from the get-go, and if it doesn't align with your values, then that person doesn't need to have access to you anymore. It is that simple to me right now, because I am very structured as a human being. I need to have a rule, otherwise it's always, it wasn't that bad.
Yes.
Right? So it took a long time for me to learn not that bad doesn't make it good.
Mm-hmm.
Not that bad isn't still, it's not aligned with who I am, so it
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't have access to me. Not
Right.
that bad, blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
Right? In every area of my life.
Yeah.
Even struggling with people who disrespect my time.
Mm-hmm.
Just learn your lesson. Apparently, it hasn't been 23 times yet. By the way, you need to be faced with something, bitch slapped in the face with something 23 times before your brain decides to be like, wait a minute, that's not nice.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Especially if you're codependent. So apparently it hasn't been 23 times.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever. I
Coming
digress.
around.
But with that, I had a conversation last weekend where this is varying opinions and it's fine, but everybody seemed to be missing the point. And again, I'm at an event, so it's like I can't just go ahead.
Yeah. It sounds like who has the tallest flag is what's happening.
Yes. And so the conversation was that, and I'm like fourth degree listening to this, right? Like it's removed from me by 4 different things. So somebody was talking about that they were dating someone who was representing somebody else. And it was a SA charge, right? That this woman was putting on this man because she was dating them, and then she woke up and he was doing things, right? While she's asleep. And then he's like, excuse me? No, right? So whatever. And then we have a female there, and she was like, I have no problems with that. I think if I'm dating somebody and that's how I wake up, that would be wonderful. Right? And then the other person who was male was like, it's an assumption that's already given or made because consent is already there. And I was like, I'm gonna stop you right there. Was it discussed ahead of time? If it's not discussed ahead of time, it's not acceptable.
Right.
And they were like, well, they were intimate before. And I was like, just because they're intimate before, you don't already have like 100% consent to do whatever, whenever, however.
Yeah.
Then. That's not how that works.
Right.
And then this person was like, well, because we're in a relationship, then I was like, I'm going to have to stop you. Because I'm over here like, I'm going to stop you before you say something where Hood Habiba's going to come out.
Why are we even with that still? Like, just even those type of...
But that's the comment, that's the mentality that is still being perpetuated now.
Yes.
That I'm basically, marital rape doesn't exist.
Right.
Right? That I was like, nope, established safety has to be there. If there's no established safety, which is usually in a conversation, then it's not consensual.
Right.
Then that's assault. The end.
Yeah.
Legally, that's also, if verbal consent's not given, it is illegal. You don't have consent to proceed.
Right.
If somebody's asleep, Rape Academy, if anyone is not consciously present, and this is not a shared experience, I don't know how many of these episodes I have to say this out loud too. If it's not a shared experience, it is not acceptable.
Yeah.
But look at the mentality around everyone there. And then the third person there was like, all like, I feel like this femininity is just what feminism has just become, toxic feminism.
Oh my God.
And that's when I was like, now I will remove myself from this conversation.
Yes. Yeah.
Because yes, my perception is very different. My expectations on life and human beings and respect is very different apparently from this group. And I understand, like, the female person that was there, she was like, I would love it if that happened to me. Sure, you would. And I said, because you already have established safety with whoever this person is in your bed where you would allow that.
Right.
And that's fine. And then so many of the conversation goes, well, then why was he in her bed then if that's not what she wanted? Wow, really? Why is it so like much always the responsibility of the person on the receiving end instead of the person that's doing it? Right? The blame is always on the victim.
Yeah, because of the practice being, you didn't have to. It's like, well, they didn't have to neither. So like, what? And if they don't do it, which is a violation. But if they're the one doing
it, that's the violation.
Right.
You did it. So if I take my shoe and I throw it out the window and the window cracks,
I'm not mad at the window.
It's not the window that's the problem for existing there. or that it, or a plant that decided to grow there.
Yeah.
And then I throw it and then I damage the plant and then I can't, I mean, it's not the plant's fault for deciding to grow there.
Right.
It's not how this works.
Yeah.
But again, then for me to recognize my thought process and my viewpoint on life
it's not matching this.
It's not matching.
Yeah.
And so I need to be responsible for removing myself
mm-hmm.
instead of either trying desperately to convince them that, this is why that mentality is incorrect, or wondering why I'm not more laid back like they are.
Yeah. Why am I so just heavy here? Why is it so deep for me here? Right. So even questioning yourself of who you are in certain spaces, I think that comes up as another kind of danger zone of, is this really where I'm supposed to be? Is this like really the place for me? Am I supposed to be part of this discussion? Am I supposed to be at this table? I think a lot of those things come about because you're going to be uncomfortable in some spaces when you're learning new things or figuring out new things. Yeah, but there is a definite distinct line between things that are appropriate and then not appropriate.
But I think in order to know that, you have to know what you value and why.
Yeah.
I do advocacy work, and that's very important to me. And so if we're talking about somebody who's not going to have autonomy, I'm going to have a problem with that.
Yeah.
So just knowing that is like a little heuristic, right? It's like a little shortcut in I don't belong here.
Yeah.
And being okay with I don't belong here. Knowing that I don't belong here because this is just something that's so deeply important to me.
Yeah.
And clearly isn't to these people.
Yeah.
Because they're not able to, I don't know, to me that was entitlement. Like, I'm entitled
to do this,
to do whatever, and that should be okay. And I'm like, nobody's ever entitled to anything without first talking about it. There has to be a conversation. Yes. Because in my head at that point, I'm like, what if they had just had a fight that night? Yeah. And then you're going to do that thinking that it's okay when I'm over here like, this relationship's over. I want no part of this anymore. But then they're like, oh, let me try to make it right. But you don't get to try to make it right like that.
Not like that. Definitely not. No. There definitely needs to be a discussion.
Or even as simple as like a hug. I've had people tell me, well, I'm just a hugger. You can be a hugger. You can hug yourself. Right. You don't get to just walk up to somebody you just met and then go give them a hug without asking. Yeah. If you're a hugger, be like, oh, I'm a hugger. Can I hug you? You can ask. And if they're like, I'm not, then you're like, oh, okay, no problem. Right? And don't take it personally because it's not about you. Yeah. I think that entitlement is, they're making it about them. Yeah. Well, I would be. Okay, great, you would be. But that doesn't mean, like you were saying, that it's not a blanket statement that is for everyone. I'm going to take a power nap. Great, good for you. Yeah. That doesn't work for me.
I think that's an important statement that you made, though, because that is usually people's response. Well, if it were me, boom.
And but that's not empathy. It's not. You're using your own experience to discount and discredit somebody else's experience.
And then that adds to this negative approach when we're thinking about, is something wrong with me? Am I missing something? What is really going on here? Because why don't I? My sister and I are very much in that way. My sister is not a physical, I don't say physical touch, but she's always been one that she don't like in her face. So she doesn't like to be hugged. She definitely was that person that would just be like this. With family, doesn't matter who it is. She doesn't like, and my mom used to always play in our faces as kids. She used to hate that shit. And my mom knew it.
And kept doing it.
But yeah, because it would just be like, I mean, I'm your mom, like, you got to get over it. My sister would just be like, I really get the fuck out of my face. But she just was not that person. For me, I took it because I was like, well, this is what it is. Like, I can't get around it. So whatever, all the elders going to hug. They're going to want to pinch my cheeks. They're going to want to do, like, whatever. Like, whatever. Just get out the way. Let me go about business. So different reactions to the things, but different reasons behind the things. It's not like, oh, it's my faith, but I understood it for something differently than what my sister did. My sister is very much, this is me. I don't like this. For me, I was very much, well, this is what it is for them. So whatever. And I'm going on in that way. So the comparison for me was much harder because I automatically put people first. So it's instantly becoming this thing of, well, if it's this way, then it must be this. If I'm not doing it this way, then I must have a problem here. Well, if it's this or it's that. And so even like now within my professional space, I'm like, okay, well, I should be doing more things. I should be learning more. I should be constantly doing these things or having more things behind my name or being able to go to certain, being invited rather, right, to certain conferences. But even with that, of learning about that, where was I? I was somewhere. I think maybe you told me this. That's something I was figuring out. I was always wondering, how do people get on these TV shows, talk shows, daytime shows, morning shows. It's like these, oh, we have so and so and so licensed this and that, doctor so and so, whatever, orthopedic. It doesn't matter who it is. But then it's like, how's this happening? I got, I think, an email that was basically like they would do something. It was almost like a middleman deal, but basically, I came to understand that you need to put some money out.
It's pay for play.
And so it's like, huh, okay.
They're either paying their agent or they're paying for each individual exposure moment.
Very strange. And so, and then, so like my partner is very much into music. And so I would hear him talk about that. Like, you have to be on the radio, you have to pay to this and that. I'm like, yeah, but I'm like, if your song is hot enough, he's like, no, you got to pay whatever. And so, of course, now learning more about what it looks like for me within my business space, I'm like, okay, so I'm not incompetent. I just don't have $10,000. Cool.
Yes.
But again, that right, that comes to recognizing what's real for me versus what I'm being shown.
Right.
And so having that, as I've worked through a lot of like the people pleasing and stuff like that over time, I still find myself having to be careful of the achievements, right? The societal expectations of what it means to be successful and things of that nature. My personal success definition, I should say, of success has always been, if I can buy name brand bread and peanut butter and jelly without checking my account, then I've made it. That's how I've always been. So when I'm here now, and again, I think between COVID and then just the extra exposure to things, and because things are so pounded into us, whether we want to or not, like, it's just, you don't even have to be on social media all day. You can do it for until you're waiting for your food to come at the restaurant, those 10-15 minutes, and you're gonna just be, it's insane. And it's worse than pop-ups used to be back in the day. So it's like, okay, cool, well, if I'm here and I'm seeing this, you look regular, I'm regular, why am I not doing this? Why am I not to your status? So having to really remind myself of like, okay, excuse me, is this realistic? And this is realistic for me. Because some things might be realistic, but it's not for me to do. I have a whole life. I got a whole bunch of shit going on. Like, I can't just drop out and go over here. Like, can't do that.
Right.
And then there are times where it's a question of, how are they doing this? So is it really that I don't have what it takes, or I just don't have the means to especially do it to that capacity? So being careful with how much am I using other people as a, not definition, but maybe like a
the
template,
parameters,
I guess, yes, of what certain things mean and what they're supposed to look like. And it's really, really tough. I think growing up, we always had that as well, of like, oh, you see your neighbor, you should be more like Bobby, da 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 da.
Right.
And so at that time, most of the time, the standards are pretty much the same. If you had granddaddy's money, then people knew that and you just went about your day. But for the most part, we kind of all kind of in the same little boat a little bit.
Right.
But quickly that changed to now we don't have the same 24 hours at all. And we do not have the same level of things. We do not have the same access to things. So that progression or successful kind of check mark thing is going to be different across the board. And so, to where I was saying before initially, when I realized that these people have like live-in chefs, I'm like, there's no way. And
I want that so much.
Yes, so bad. And I'm so tired of finding out what to cook, girl. My God. So it was like, that was my kind of slap in the face of like, girl, you need to wheel it in.
Right.
Like, you're doing a lot of things. And I always remember that to myself. And I now use it as like an analogy of like, you probably have a chef.
Yeah.
Because there's just too much happening.
Right.
That realistically you would not be able to do.
But there's also like the smaller scale ones. I remember when I was, what was this, 13, 14 years ago, when I had my practice. and I would look to the people that I looked up to,
Mhm.
right, who were a psychiatrist, big difference,
Yeah.
and then be like, I want to be like them, and I'm not,
Mhm.
and then feeling like I'm behind because
Yes.
of that. And I had to really check myself and be like, okay, number one, they're 15 years older than you.
Oh my God, yes.
They've been doing it for a lot longer.
Yeah.
So they have the flexibility and freedom to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5
Mhm.
that you don't, because they've been, pounding the pavement for
Yeah.
that much longer than you have. That's not fair.
Yeah.
So I had to do a lot of that.
Mm.
And then I also did the same thing as you did. I think I told you my learning in the beginning was peer driven, right?
Mhm.
I needed to know the techniques and I needed to know them well so I could actually help people so that I
Mhm.
wouldn't do them harm.
Yes.
Right? That was my fear driven in the beginning.
Mhm.
And I I don't know how many certifications I have at this
Okay.
point.
Yeah.
And you know this because you remember that one time I was like, this weekend I have the anger management certification and I'm doing the
Yeah, and I was like,
neuropsychological basis for
what?
trauma therapy certification,
Yeah.
just for the certificate, whatever.
Mhm.
I was doing the two at the same time. Do you remember that?
Yeah, they were
That
very
was last
intense.
year or something.
Yeah.
And but now it's just because, oh, I want that. I want
Yeah.
whatever instead of I have to, because if I don't, and if you look at any of my bios anywhere, it just has my schooling
Yeah.
and my license.
Mhm.
I don't have any of the
Mhm.
A, because it would probably fill up the page.
Mhm.
But B, also because I don't have to.
Yeah.
Right? People who
The
know me,
proof of
who have
self.
met me, they know I know my shit.
Yeah.
Right? The way I do the work, I've told my clients, because especially the ones who are very anxious about therapy working, I'm like, I have 100% success rate.
Mhm.
If you stick it out, if you can get
Yes.
past the storming phase with me, if you
Yes.
can get past that, then it's smooth sailing.
Yeah.
Right? But we have to get through the storming phase together first.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that is because I do have all of these that I have not just trained in, but mastered.
Yeah.
Because I needed to make sure
Mhm.
that I wasn't going to harm anyone else.
Yeah.
Now I just collect them because
It's good information.
I love it.
Staying up to date on things.
And I just love it.
Research
I really
is
do.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. It makes me feel good. And I'm just like, oh my God, guess what? I
Mhm.
think I come to you with that shit too.
Yeah, because it's fun to learn new things. Like, what the
did
fuck?
you know?
Yeah.
So now it's desire based and desire
Mhm.
driven, when before it was very much kind of like measuring up.
Yeah.
Can I measure up? Am I going to be worthwhile? Or is my insecurity going to be stamped on my forehead that I'm not competent, right?
Yeah.
And that's a childhood message that you
Yes.
carry. This is not something new just because I started this profession. This
Right.
is something that's been, that seed of doubt has been planted there since I was somewhere between 0 and 9, right?
Yeah.
Because that's when that shit starts. And knowing that, I actually had a client was dating this fool who's a therapist. And he was like, well, I looked up your therapist and she has no credentials behind her name except for da da da. And she was just like, yeah, just Google her first. See what comes up. And then she told me, and I was like, see, that's why I don't need to. I don't need to have all of these things written underneath my name, because people who want to work with me already know that I do.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's just how it is. A lot of it is time. Like, I wanted to be like that psychiatrist, the two psychiatrists that I still look up to. Right? Because I was like, I want to be them.
Yeah.
But how?
Yes.
Therapists don't charge what psychiatrists do, so
at all.
you won't. No, their lifestyle cannot match yours
at all.
Right? So what do you do?
That is one of the culprits, I think, too, that kind of destructive comparison piece of, I want this particular outcome.
Yes.
So how do I get there? Because whatever I'm doing right now is not going to get me there, and I'm not getting there. So even on a personal standpoint, we'll see where we'll look at it. So similar to like having someone to cook at your house.
Yeah.
Or even other relationships, other friendships. It's like, oh, I would love to have whatever type of deal. how do I get there? And then you're like, well, obviously I need to be more outgoing, or I need to go over here more often, or maybe I can watch more of these movies, or so there's this kind of piece of it that rolls into what is the intent.
Yeah.
What is the desire here? Because it still can be, you can look at something and be inspired by it. Mm-hmm. And you can look at something and be, man, that's kind of interesting. I never thought about that, and mm-hmm. explore that without it being like, I want to take this on in order to get this particular thing here. I think that's where the thin line is, because the actions look very similar. You're in both of them, you're going to be doing the things that you haven't done before.
Right.
But they both will lead to different outcomes, where one of them you'll feel more kind of secure within yourself, while the other one is you're kind of chasing after this shadow that doesn't belong to you.
And the security, I think, comes when you know this is in alignment with my values.
Yeah.
Because our values don't change.
Mm-hmm.
We add more to our pile of values and different nuances of how this shows up. Mm-hmm. But the values themselves don't ever change. Yeah. So if something's not in alignment with your value, it will never be in alignment with your value.
Yeah.
Right? Like, homie loves food and loves to eat.
Yeah.
And so that will always be something. I can't just say, like, one of my girls, she is content with white ass chicken breast and boiled broccoli.
Ooh,
when she is cutting weight.
Oh.
I could never.
No.
I can't. I will gag. I will sit there. It will look brown by the time I'm done with the seasoning. You know what I mean? But even then, it's dry and this and that. So when my personal trainer was like, you know, make these dishes based on what works. And I was like, chicken breast will never work.
Yeah.
It will never work. Mm-hmm. So the only way I've ever made it to get it to where I can eat it is it has to be stewed.
Yeah.
The end. Right? And it's not a battle like it was years ago, because I was like, well, if this is what it takes, you get all the protein from it, and it's the least amount of fat, and that's blah 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 blah. So I need to, right? I need to would last a day.
Yeah.
But then the messages after that, because my ex used to cut weight when he was boxing, and again, chicken breast and greens, and that would like no seasoning, no nothing. And I was just like, I had my baby, I had put on 93 pounds when I had my eldest. So I was like, I will also eat chicken breast and broccoli a day. One day. It lasted a day. But then the mental state at that point, what was that? Almost 18 years ago, was, what's wrong with you? Clearly it's doable. Everybody else does it. You're just not committed. You're just not this. You're just not that. When now it's
discipline. Fucking hate that word, but I'm listening. Go ahead. Sorry.
I will come back to that in a second. But it was, that's just not going to work. Grilled chicken breasts and greens will never work for me. It just won't.
No.
That goes against what I value in life, which is taste. It has to taste good.
Yeah.
It has to taste good. So now, my Instant Pot's my favorite friend. It goes in there, all the spices go in there, all the veggies go in there, and then it's soft.
Yeah. It's juicy, it's flavorful. Yes. So tender. Yeah.
Put some harissa in there.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah, and it's filling and still really good.
Yeah.
But it has to be good, right?
Yes.
And no one was like, figure out which part of this works for you. It was, this works, you must.
Yeah. So that's that blanket.
Right. And as far as discipline goes, I said we're going to come back to
it. You did.
Discipline, I think, is very, very important.
Yeah.
For example, discipline instead of willpower is my point.
Okay.
Do you think I wanted to work out this morning? And I ran out of Celsius.
Oh.
Yes. I was like, I haven't slept well in a week. I've been strung out. I'm tired. My body hurts. And I'm about to get up here with no boost. And I did. And I finished it. And then I did some more because I overcompensate when I don't feel a certain type of way. But that's straight discipline. That has nothing to do with willpower. It's, we do this because that's what I do in the mornings.
Yeah. And that's
the end. Right? So I do think, as far as not waiting for willpower or not waiting for motivation. Motivation is not coming. That's the one thing I tell all of my clients. They're like,
I don't feel motivated.
should you be saying that? Should you be saying that to me? It's the truth.
Yeah, because I'm not motivated to do these goddamn notes, but goddamn it, I gotta do it. So I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yesterday, I told you about my day yesterday.
Oh my god, yeah.
And then I went and worked out. Do you think there was any motivation to go work out? No, it was straight. Watch me take it out on this machine.
Yeah.
I need to get this energy out of my body.
Yeah.
So none of it is ever willpower or drive or motivation. I don't believe in it. I don't think people need to wait for that. Because if we go back to the chicken breast situation, I was waiting for the motivation to come to want to do this. That is never happening. No. I will never want that. It's not your crusty interest. Ass.
You're never gonna be
chicken
interested.
Breast.
You've never been interested in it. So I'm not gonna suddenly start just because I'm doing this new thing in my life.
So
it's not gonna come.
Being accountable to yourself in that way, so that you're true to who you are.
Yes.
I think is the foundational work for anything that you want to achieve in life. And if you don't want to compare yourself to other people constantly, because it becomes sometimes obsessive.
Yes,
right?
Danger zone for sure.
Yes, in order to break that, for me, what I use to break it, I told you, is checking my reality. Right, like psychiatrist. Number one. Number two, has been practicing for 15 years, like literally a staple in the community, and you just starting. Right, so checking my reality over and over and over again. But then also removing myself from those situations where there would be a need to compare.
Yes.
So I don't watch views, right? I don't look at comments. I think I had the comments turned off somewhere. Yeah, I don't know if it was Facebook or Instagram or wherever, because I don't need that.
Yeah.
I don't need that. And this whole, well, what are people going to think? Because that was such a deep-rooted childhood thing. Like, what are people going to think? Remember who you represent, right? We represent the family. And being worried about other people's opinions. Again, have to learn the hard way. Like, you could be sitting there exactly the way you are, and you're going to have half the people be like, oh my God, and talk shit. And then the other half be inspired.
Yeah.
And it's the same moment in time. And the final part of that was, honestly, people should be too busy to give a fuck. Yeah. Like, I don't walk around as I'm looking outside, right? The people that are walking by, it's more of a squirrel moment.
Yeah.
Right? Then, oh, look at what they're doing. Look at what they're wearing. Look at how they're doing this. Or do they have on headphones? I don't have time for those internal worries about what other people are doing, because I'm existing in my own realm.
That's my dad's point for us. He's always like, if you have people or someone that's, especially if they're supposed to be a friend, and they are taking the time to essentially critique you, they don't have anything else going on, but they're not happy with themselves. So they're taking it out on you. Yeah. And it's like, but really, yeah. Because like you said, if I'm happy where I am within my own existence and I'm good with where I'm going, I can look at you like, oh my God, girl, those are cute. And I don't feel anything other than, wow, those are cute.
And that's the only thing that I would notice, unless I'm just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But the what the fuck is like, that's different. And again, also, all of it is a projection. Yes. Right? We project, everything is a mirror. We project all of our shit onto, but you have to be aware of your projection. Yes. And if I'm like, the fuck are you doing? And if I just imagine myself like a cat, where all the hairs grow, stand up, because that's what I do. Like, because they're doing something where I feel the other person's in danger and they need to be protected, which is whose projection? Yeah. Mine. Yeah. Right? If we went to a festival and Ryu was like, did you see that? And I was like, where? And he was like, literally walked past you. Did you not see this person? And I was just like, why would I? Was it cute? But do you know what I mean? Because like, that would be something that would be pointed out. And then his response was, no, but you would probably get up and say something to her. And I was like, what happened? No joke, this much of the cheeks were out.
Oh yeah.
And the thong.
Like on the bottom, on the butt?
Yes.
Yeah.
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 So I was like, is that intentional? Or is like you sat down and you got up and the skirt's just up?
Nope.
Right? So we were like, huh. But again, not even he wasn't judging.
Yeah.
He was like, you would probably say something like, do you know your ass cheeks are out?
Yeah.
Just so if you don't want them to be out,
Mm-hmm.
just letting you know the ass cheeks are out.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I roll through life, because literally you do you.
Yes.
Live and let live. Just don't harm anybody else.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I think that's one of the ways that we can kind of come out of that kind of danger zone of comparison of just where are you and finding comfort in where you are.
Mhm.
It doesn't mean you have to settle. It doesn't mean that you're stopping where you are, but finding comfort in where you are within your own journey and being and learning like why this is okay. Not everything is going to be applied to all things and all people. And again, we can be inspired by things. We can look forward to things. We can like this thing. It doesn't mean we have to automatically take it on either.
Right.
We just like it, and then we can just keep it moving in that way.
Right.
Wherever the path is going that we are headed, and whatever needs to be added to that, then we can add it and keep it moving. But we don't have to roll into this kind of space of comparison. So just being more kind of mindful of when is the role kind of turning into comparison versus just like like you said, admiration or just an interest. And leaving those things there where it's not just because I'm not doing those things means that I'm also not da da da. There's a very fine difference.
That's what to look for, right? When it becomes something more than admiration or whatever, is when it's no longer just doubt, but it's self-criticism. It's shame. I haven't made it because I'm not blank, right? When those negative sentence like fill in the blank comes in, then you're like, oh, look at that. No, thank you. Next, right? Thought stopping, like practicing the thought stopping of we're not going to keep feeding this energy.
Yeah. Okay, look at me finding profound things. Okay, learning. Love that for me. But yeah, that's a good formula. That's definitely a good formula. So keep in mind when you're deciding, like, am I really over here? Am I? Is there shame associated with this kind of other side over here?
And shame is I'm a bad person.
Yes.
I'm not measuring up. Blank.
Not good enough. Not enough.
Right. Any of those fill in the blanks is what shame is. Not guilt. Guilt is I did something wrong.
Right.
But shame is when you know that it's gone. Yeah, you just like went nosedived off the cliff.
Yeah.
Into the dysfunction. Let's climb back up.
Yeah. Let's put you back where you are. Remember that you're in the grass, not the desert. Like, it's okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So cool.
Yeah.
I like that. That's a good formula. Good formula. Keep that in mind. Because we have to. We're all going to compare. It's natural to compare. We want to be careful not to roll down that hill.
Yeah. And just be curious. Why are you here?
Yeah. Curiosity is very good. So good. Thank you.
Thank you guys for listening and following along with the roller coaster today.
Yeah. We got there though. We got there.